Hey guys, Figurecraft here. First of all, let me just apologize. It came to my attention through a comment that I got from someone that I didn't do such a good job recording, and it was all blurry, and I need to basically go slower and do pans and stuff like that. I apologize for that. That one was basically my fault. I was using this phone right here, which it's a brand new phone, but the camera on this thing, it just sucks. I'm not gonna lie, this camera stinks. So I won't be recording with this anymore. Instead, I'm still using the old phone because the old phone records better than that new phone. So, starting here to the front. Let me get you zoomed in. And then I'll work on getting over here to where Jack and Rose is. Just give me a few. See if I can get them to focus. They're small. Let me zoom it out. Sorry, I'm holding it to the side because I can't get around the ship where it's up against the wall over here on this thing. Okay, we're focusing on the front of the ship. I can see that. We're not picking up the... There we go. Then we lost the front. So, it can't focus on two things at the same time. Okay, yeah, it can't focus on two things at the same time. So there's back there. And then when I click on here, there's back to the front of the ship where Jack and Rose is. So let me get up here. Let me try to focus. Yeah, I can see that the quality in this camera is doing a whole lot better than that other one I was using on that new phone. I don't know why that is. Get this zoomed in. There we go. I'm having to click in certain areas to focus. But as you can see, I'm trying to take my time this time. I am sorry about the last video. I'll try to get you some views of the... now this is all upgraded detail that came from the model kit shop. All of these windlasses, anchor chains, all the stuff that you see, except for these black ferro-lead rollers. They came in the gunmetal color, but I painted them black. They came with the main model. The bollards that you see on there is from the model kit shop. The anchor crane, the bow anchor crane, is from the model kit shop. The pole at the front of the ship with the flag on it, that came with the model. The anchor came with the model. The metal gate down there that's over top the anchor came with the model. I just added some extra black wires in there to give it those supports that it has. But all the rest of this stuff is pretty much from the model kit shop. Even the cargo hatch. I'll zoom down here and I'll try to get this small, tiny sign. Just give me a few. It's kind of hard to hold a camera while you're standing up. Sorry about that. Just give me a few minutes, y'all. I gotta get down here on my knees in the floor. Ugh. I'm trying. Alright, now if I can just get it to focus. I think the sign is so small that it won't focus. What if I get a bit closer? I'll rest the phone on the side of the ship. Can I click here? Those breakwaters that you see, that's from the model kit shop. Yeah, the sign's so small that the camera can't pick it up. Sorry about that one. Oh, get back up here. Here is the crow's nest. There is the American flag. Focus. There we go. I'm having to maneuver around in certain areas just to get things to focus. Here are the lookouts in the crow's nest. Down here on the side of the ship. And focus. There's Titanic's name. Focus. Here is where I was talking about the puzzle piece effect, but it makes it look real, like real pieces of metal are stuck together. So I had no problem with the metal. Now that I've got this, let's see here. That looks like there's something on here on the hole I'm looking at. I think that's super glue, which is my luck. Oh, I thought I did good about... Oh well, you can't see it until you ride up on it. Alright, we're going to the forward well deck. There's the steps. Let me zoom in here. Oh. There's the little cable that I've tied to the railing. There, focus. There's the cable that I've tied to the railing that goes up the mast and goes to the flag. Let me see if I can get over here and show you this. This is that pipe detail that I've added. Right down in here. That little pipe you see that's curved and going down there, I've added that. That's just a regular piece of silver wire painted white and draped over top the doors. And it goes down right there. You can see right there underneath the steps where some of the paint came off the pipe. And then those little black levers are done by a permanent Sharpie marker that's on those doors in the well deck. And then if we go over here, here is the forward cranes on the bow. These are the replacement cranes from the model kit shop. Same thing with these hatches. These are the replacement hatches from the model kit shop. You can see it's got the little rails going around the hatches. I just used my colors from the Titanic Honor and Glory. Let me see if I can get these winches in here. They're like so dark green that it's hard to focus on them, but there's winches underneath those bow cranes. That little silver wire that you see that's tied in the middle of the bow cranes, I had to do that to keep the one crane from flapping up. You can see it over there. I had to basically use a silver wire to tie those two cranes together, and then put the supports on it to hold it down. But I still kept the silver wire on it because I don't trust taking that off, because it's got enough force to still pop those off. So you can't see it until you're right up on it. But it's good. Down in here, it's going to be kind of hard to get this. There it is. Down in there is the steps that lead up to this deck right here that the officer is standing at. I did use a 1/350 scale little gate, but as you can see, it's too small, and I haven't had a chance to get that little gate back off there and fix it. There's the other warning sign. You can see it behind the cranes. Up there, there's the Holland and Wolf Shipbuilders logo. Get this focused right about here. Here's the bridge. That is a black piece of wire that I've put down there that's going across the windows that I just super glued on there to make the railing. Alright, let me get up here. Let me remove this bridge's roof. This is the replacement roof from the model kit shop. So I'll set this down there, and then we'll start focusing in on the bridge details here. Sorry, I'm trying not to bump the ship. Here is the bridge. Here are the two officers having a chat in the bridge. That railing that you see going across those windows at the bottom, that's from the model kit shop. That's a railing that he made with the kit. Same thing with the window frames that are inserted into the wheelhouse. Focus. Come on, camera. And then right up here, all of this is replacement parts that were used from the model kit shop. Just let me get in position. And focus. Okay, all of these are replacement parts that were used from the model kit shop. All the telegraphs, the steering wheel, the windows that's in there, those little window shutters. All of that is all replacement parts from the model kit shop. Then I've got a person right there standing, carrying the fireworks box. Two officers having a chat, like I said. Over here, there is another person carrying one of the firework launcher boxes. The quartermaster at the ship's wheel. One guy getting ready to walk out. I am going to order some extra replacement parts from the model kit shop, because right here there's supposed to be a door, and I'm going to order the another one of the kits that comes with the doors, because there's the door right there that came with a kit. So I'm going to order some more kits that comes with a door. That way I can put a door there. That'll be a little bit later on, though. You can see where I've added the floor down. That is the floor that I've printed out with paper off of a website, and then just put the Titanic's floor down. Like I said, this right here is a bunch of pieces of wire super glued together. You can see where they're just multiple pieces of wire just super glued together. Then they got that little ring, and then I just run the little rigging through all of that. Here are the upgraded vents that were replaced. That's paper, that's cardstock paper down below the vents, the gray things that they're sitting on. Those concrete plates, that's just cardstock paper painted gray. Here is the replacement lifeboat. You can see where I took a black Sharpie marker and drew the ropes on the boat. These are replacement window frames. Let me just get right here. Hang on a minute. I gotta get down on the floor again. I'm sorry. Oh. Okay. So, here are the replacement window frames, which has some that's basically open. You have some where the only part that's open is, let me see if I can find one here. They're kind of hard to spot. That one. Okay, let me go up here. Basically, only the top is flapped open. You can see right there. Only the top is flapped open. And then you got these ones where the sides, like that right there, are just flapped open. He makes these, and then those little circles down there, down below those windows, those are just like little rings that's basically glued on there that he's also made. 3D printed little rings. I just painted them white, colored them in with a black Sharpie marker. The same thing with those little lamps that you see there. Those little side deck lights. That's just a 3D part painted and just glued on. I painted the door hinges. That's a 3D door that I've bought from the model kit shop. That is a officer standing there. I thought about replacing the benches because I can get some better benches from the Midwest Model Shop. Try to get that. It's not wanting to focus back there. Come on. Come on. Sorry, y'all, I'm fighting with the camera. Let me zoom out a bit. Oh, come on, focus. Let me try wiping off the camera lens. Sometimes I have trouble. There we go. That right there is Mr. Andrews sitting on the bench. But I thought about replacing those benches because those are the ones that come with the model. And the Midwest Model Shop, like I said, the Midwest Model Shop makes better benches. So I thought about ordering a set of his benches. And then right here is the metal plating that I talked about before. That's just a piece of brass metal. And then the details there is just cardstock paper. If I get down here, try to focus it in at the end. You can see right there, those little white ends sticking out down there, down below the rail. That's where you can see the white paper. It's just 2 pieces of cardstock paper glued across the big old brass piece and just painted gold. It's all painted gold at once. That's cardstock paper on the side of the cabin, just glued on and painted black. Here are the replacement lifeboats. Come on, focus. Let me back up a bit. Oh. I swear if it isn't one, there we go. If it isn't one camera giving me trouble, it's another. Here's going down the side of the ship. You can see there's the puzzle piece effect. But that's fine. Here are the replacements coaling outrigs. There's about 10 of them on each side of the ship that go down the ship. And the original coaling outrigs are still on the ship. I just glued these over top of them. But anyway, we'll get back up here. Let me see if I can find a an outrig where, here it is, right here. Okay, if I zoom in right here, you might be able to see it, you might not. There it is. You can see the old one still on there, basically carved into the plastic. And then you can see where I put the new one over top the old one. But from far away, you can't tell it. And I'll get you up here into the detail of the cutter. This is the detail of the cutter, with the life ring inside, the lifeboat's rudder, and the oars. You can see right there. in these 3D printed pulleys and strings. Here is the first funnel. And then here's the, the cables that lead from the first funnel up to the mast. And then I'll get you a good view of the rigging down here towards the front of the ship. And then you've also got some details on the sides of these walls in the well deck, the forward well deck. You can see we got some little pipes there. That's 3D printed detail from the model kit shop that I just glued onto the sides. Painted it orange. You can see them better on this side right here because some of them I accidentally, there you go, you can see them. Some of them I've accidentally got sticking up too far. So it's best to put these down when you've got the decks fully down, because they push down more than what I thought. And that one got me. But from far away you can't tell it. This is more Sharpie marker. Basically drawn on the levers with a Sharpie marker. Here are the navigation lights, the Morse code lamps that they use to signal other ships. Oops, I hit me a cord. I'm going to go ahead and get this roof back on here. Okay, I got my roof back on. And there are the cutters up there. Moving down more. Here are the skylights where the Marconi room is. There's the other side of the ship over there. More replacement vents. There's the skylight for the grand staircase. Here are some more 3D printed window frames that were replaced. They're just stuck over top of the original window frames. One thing with this build that I have had problems with, and every other people has had problems with it too, is right here. The decks have a trouble of not wanting to fully go down, but when you get your lifeboats on here, it really disguises that. But I was able to minimize mine a whole lot more by just putting some screws down in certain areas. You can see right here. Right there's one of them right there that's not wanting to go into place. But it's fine, it's hidden underneath the lifeboat. But there it is right there. There was a screw that I was able to put down. It's underneath the life. There it is. There's a screw right there. That is a, I think it's an AP screw that I just basically stuck through the deck to try to hold the deck down more. Knock something off. Here are an officer giving a woman directions. Going down, there's some more benches, you can see them. You can see they're not the most detailed benches. But the Midwest Model Shop makes a whole lot more better detailed benches, and I thought about removing these benches and getting me a set of the Midwest Model Shop benches. I haven't quite come to a decision yet on that, but I am thinking about it. Here is the, it's going to be kind of hard to get a hold of this right here. This is the steps that lead up to that deck. It's hard to get that one because it's behind that vent. Here is the whole lot of the ventilation systems. This is the deck over top of the reading and writing room and the dining place, I think it is. It's left my train of thought right now. I can't think of what it is. I think it's the first class dining saloon. Here is the replacement compass tower. You can see all the detail in there. I will try to get you a view of the sign, but that's going to be kind of hard to do because I can't really get in here too close because I'll bump the rigging. But I'll get what I can of it. There you can see the sign over there. And then I'll zoom you back out. Now we're moving back towards the third funnel area. Here's the third funnel's deck house. Here are the steps right here from the front that leads up the deck. But here's the third funnel. Then here is, I tried matching the paint color, but I just didn't get it close enough, but it's good enough. And you can't notice it until you right up on it, where that's a different orange compared to the funnel's orange. I tried my best to match it. Then you're going to get up here to, this is some more replacement detail in there. All those vents were replaced. All of this was replaced. This is the details to the engine room casing that sits over top the engine room. Let me stand up here. Oh! It's hard to get in and out of the floor. There's the aft staircase. Here are some replacement winches. Let me see if I can get these in detail. Replacement winches, replacement windows. And then when we move back towards the fourth funnel area, here are some more replacement vents. And replacement, lights. Here's the fourth funnel and all of its rigging. We're already starting to get dusty here, which is, the reason why I wanted the case, but I'm still having trouble out of that case. I'm supposed to contact Agora Models again today and ask them, the situation on the case, considering how I've got the motor now, the replacement motor. Hopefully the case is the next thing. But we'll see. Moving on back towards the back of the ship. Here's another replacement vent. Here is the second class entrance. There's an officer standing outside the door that just came out. And there's a door right up there at the front. And then if you were to go to the other side, there's a door right there to the back. Here's some more benches. I painted the top of the railing brown, like a brown burn color. Here are the replacement cranes from the model kit shop for the promenade deck. This is the only vent right here in the whole ship that wasn't replaced, because he never made a replacement vent for that one. That is, like I said, that's a toothpick going across to make the beam. Give me a few seconds here. I've got to get back down on the floor. Oh, sorry. Alright. Pick back up where we left off. If I can get in there. Let me try to focus on that guy. There's a guy. He's resting against a pillar. Come on, focus. There we go. And then over here is another one resting against the wall. Sorry if it's a little dark in here. It's almost nighttime here, and unfortunately my house is set up to where it doesn't have good lighting in the house. When this house was built, it was basically built a long time ago by one of my family members, and I've inherited it since then. And back then, it was back in the old days, they didn't believe in using a lot of light, so the lights are in very peculiar places that you're not used to seeing in a house. And then where you would think that a light would be, there's not one. Here are some of the old window frames that Hachette and Agora provided you with. These are the old window frames that I just didn't bother to replace them. You can see they go all the way down the promenade deck. We'll take a look at that in a minute. There are some ladders that I've stuck on to the side down there, and it's like that on both sides. Down here is where we're approaching the back of the ship now. Here are the cranes that's back on the aft well deck. There's a person down here. He's sweeping the deck. He's sweeping. And then here are the whoops, I accidentally bumped my docking bridge. Here are the signs on the back of the ship. And then if I were to come back, we're going to slowly go up the mast. Here is the Royal Mail flag. Let me see if I can get this. Which you've already seen before. The gnats have already messed on it. You can see that that black dot above where it says mail. That is that's gnat crap. The gnat has messed on it. I hate gnats. Which is the reason why I wanted a case for this thing. Because I knew they would go for it. Here is the White Star flag. We'll take a look at the rigging that goes across here in a minute. Going into the aft well deck. This is the only winch on the ship that has not been replaced. That is the old winch that you get with Hachette and Agora. Those are the winches that they send you. That's the only winch that has not been replaced on the whole ship. And you can see